CIO of Versar, a government contracting company located in Springfield, Virginia. I've been working in IT for over 25 years. And we've been using TechnoMile, I think, as a customer now for about 3 years. So, at the time, Versar had been acquired by an equity partner. They had new ownership. And they were looking to revitalize or rework a lot of our processes and to save money as well, to make things more efficient. Versar was using Salesforce up to that point, but Salesforce out of the box, Salesforce with enterprise licenses, and the company had attempted to customize Salesforce. We attempted to do it ourselves. I brought in programmers. The marketing department had brought in their own programmers. And they had seats for probably over 100, 120 people in the company. And in general, we weren't getting a lot of value considering the amount of money we were spending on Salesforce. We weren't getting good metrics. Our pipeline wasn't very clear. And new ownership came to me and said, do you have any ideas about how to fix this? And we went out looking. And I looked at Microsoft's solution. I looked at a few other smaller CRM folks as well, and we came across TechnoMile. Our top two criteria were really, efficiency, right, and getting value out of the software we're using to manage the sales cycle and saving money. Those were the two big things. Salesforce in the iteration that we were using, or in the instance we were using, and the way we were trying to use it, was costing us a significant amount of money. It was probably, it was in the top 3 items in the IT budget. And really, the company's ability to look at its pipeline, do a budget, and forecast based on what was in Salesforce was just not very good at all. So, those two things, with those two things in mind, we ended up settling on TechnoMile. One of the nice things about TechnoMile and the TechnoMile solution is or was, and still is, I suppose, the alignment with the government sales cycle, right? And so what we attempted to do ourselves, and I think what a lot of companies attempt to do themselves, is what TechnoMile provides, the template that the TechnoMile solution provides, reflects the government sales cycle well enough so that your business users are comfortable right away. The team gets it; they understand how a government sales team works, the proposal and the RFP cycle, and that really helps. The other big piece, right, is that you're moving your licensing structure to a much different one, and it saves you significant amounts of money. You move from an enterprise license to a platform license. That's what it's called. It's called a platform license. And even between Salesforce platform license and the TechnoMile costs, you'll find you're saving. I think that we probably are saving well into 6 figures. We certainly reduced the number of users we had, but the cost of the licenses and the TechnoMile software were a significant win for us. Sure. So we have different teams using and different parts of the business using the TechnoMile solutions. Out of the suite of solutions that exist, we're using Fed Capture, right, and that's used by project managers and the doer sellers out in the business to do the typical Salesforce activity, right? You're putting in the opportunities that you have, and you're tracking them, through your business stages, hopefully to win. But we're also using the contract management piece, so that after a win, the information about that opportunity and that client and that task order or whatever piece of work you've gotten has transitions over into contract management, and the contract management can then track the significant pieces of the contract that they're interested in. And they probably have 300 fields that they're tracking that they're interested in as well. So both of those pieces are busily at work in Versar. The fact that TechnoMile's suite of products covers not just the sales cycle, right, but the marketing pipeline, the sales cycle, the contracts piece. We weren't looking for it, but it was a really attractive add-on. And we put Fed Capture in first with the idea that we were going to add the contract piece down the road. And so the relationship, the connective tissue, what the business people like to say, between different parts of the business is enabled because the software supports the software suite. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of data connection between business teams and the contracts teams. This was all an email, and it's a common problem. It's an email, it's on shared drives, it's on, God forbid, somebody's laptop. And now there's a system of record. The challenge always remains getting people to use the systems of record. But we've made a lot of progress, and we continue to do so. So, business systems change, business processes change, and we have had, we've been able to do modifications ourselves. So, it's still Salesforce, and if you do have a technical team or people with technical expertise, and even if they just go to the Salesforce admin training, you can do some of the light stuff yourself. You can add fields. You can do light process work. But we've also come back to TechnoMile to have things reworked. And to do additional customization. And so we continue to work with them as a partner in that area as well. And that is another, I guess additional bonus or positive impact of this is that, the TechnoMile team continues to update the software. The TechnoMile team is familiar with our processes from putting the system in, and has been able to work with us pretty efficiently to make changes to things like risk evaluation gates or a reworking of how we do estimates of win probability in the system. When Versar was acquired by its current ownership, even the bottom line of the business was struggling quite a bit, and now Versar is a profitable company where we've really seen benefits, from using the software are in being able to accurately forecast, revenue, and the whole revenue stack as we look at our business month to month. We reforecast and rebudget on a monthly basis, and this is a big piece of getting accurate data into those forecasts. I think there are other things that we didn't have good enough data to even really look at, win-loss rates and those sorts of things. And then at the budget level, my budget for the CRM side of things and for the contract side is well under 6 figures at this point, and that's because we've changed this model we were talking about before with the licensing. So Salesforce, the cost of Salesforce to our business now feels a lot better than it did before. It feels like the right price rather than $160,000 a year for software that didn't always match up with our processes very well.